Before we get started tonight here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our sponsor here on IE Sports Radio. Another app company.com. With apps like Me, BS Meter, and FaceFly, another app company starts by building apps building apps people they love and sharing them with the world. So, the NBA draft happened this past Wednesday. And y'all saw the lady with the kente cloth. Mm-hmm. That lady's going to be a meme for here on in. So why not go over to Me and get your app on that. But you can find them and everything else on anotherAppCompany.com. Once again, that's anotherAppCompany.com. You can find them in Google Play Store. Coming soon to the Apple App Store. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for that is all sports. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. And also, if you tune in with us on the live stream this past Wednesday during the NBA draft, thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in with us with that. Had a lot of, comments, feed through that. During those 3 hours. So that's something we may looking to do again down the line. But thank y'all for tuning in with that. Mr. Locke, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Been a long week. A lot of news dropped this past week. A lot of free agents. We seemed like we were just doing our show just yesterday, even though it was Wednesday. So a lot of stuff going on in the NBA, man, even though it's so, I guess you could say it's the off season. It feels like we're still in season right now, man, with a lot of news dropping this past week.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff's been happening. The drafts, has come and gone. Free agency just happened 2 days late. Has just started 2 days later. And we're still in the full swing of it. But first, what are your final thoughts of the draft?
It was a pretty solid draft. I think I did like what Charlotte did. I think they were the winners in this draft, to be honest. So I think LaMelo's going to be a player that we're going to be hearing about for years to come. So nice couple pieces. Definitely like what my Magic did. I give Cole Anthony, tag him or get him with Markelle Fultz. I think would be pretty solid at the guard position. So yeah, man, the draft was pretty pretty interesting. A lot of teams did, pick up a couple pieces that they needed. But this is the kind of conversation we got to have like next March, April, so we can see how these panned out.
Yeah. Like I brought up Wednesday night. LaMelo going to Charlotte was a very good move. You gotta, get some star power there. We'll talk about their free agency moves here in a little bit. But, draft wise, I thought they, did a solid job there. To Minnesota drafting Anthony Edwards, number one. I said on Wednesday, like, if you're going to bring back Rubio, why not take the guy that's more athletic, more taller, has more flash to his game, and LaMelo Ball. And if he can, work on his jumper and whatnot, he'd be a nice package there offensively for the Wolves. And it'd be a lot cheaper in the short term. I know Rubio got like a couple years left on his deal, but still, you think you want to think long term here compared to the short term. And I know with Minnesota they don't want to do that, but it is what it is. But like you mentioned, draft was solid. I think everybody is satisfied with their picks. Nobody really traded their picks too much. So I think everything was good with the draft. But now,
yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. Yeah, I think that good pieces were picked up, and also after that, after you make these couple draft picks, now it kind of transitions to how you what kind of players you look for in free agency, and I think that's what just transpired. Like, this has been a quick process this year.
Yeah, and the only thing that is going to suck for these guys, they want to have summer league to get acclimated with the NBA game and rules, and then they don't have the full training camp that a lot of these guys need to hone their craft in, along with the veterans. So that's the only thing that's going to, hurt these rookies this year. So if anybody thinking these rookie class can come out and ball out and stuff like that, maybe some will. But to kind of expect these guys to change the world in a day, it's going to be a little while, like you mentioned. So, like I said, give these rookies a little time and, let them develop. A lot of 18, 19-year-olds that were drafted in this draft. So give them time to mature, and then we'll, like I said, like you mentioned, we'll see how they are by March and April and whatnot. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, free agency is in full swing. A lot of deals been going on. Supermax has been offered. The Bogdanovich and the Bucks thing kind of disappeared. Now he's been offered by the Hawks. D-Lock, in the 2 days that free agency has started, which teams or players have gotten the best deal so far?
I ain't gonna lie, I do like I said, I kind of do like a little bit of what Charlotte is doing. I know it's kind of tough because we did have our questions about Gordon Hayward and him being injury prone, but I feel like they're turning that roster around a little bit. Trying to make, you can see that they're trying to be successful. Let me say that. They're trying to find ways to get victories and not stick with the team, continuously be mediocre. To me, it feels like Jordan is trying to, put together a solid squad. And I was just telling you off air, another team that I really like what they're doing is the Los Angeles Lakers. The biggest shocker, obviously, to me was Trez going to LA or going to the Lakers. That was just a shocker, a surprising move to me. So those are the things that really stick out to me. Atlanta is making great moves as well, I think. But they're trying to obviously keep Trae Young there for a while. So, a couple pieces they got with Rondo, a couple other pieces I really like. Also, Milwaukee. They're also trying to keep Giannis in Milwaukee by getting a bunch of people. And we'll talk about more of them, tonight and next week moving forward. But those I think at the top of the list you have the Lakers. You got Atlanta, Charlotte making some pretty good moves.
I think so far, the Lakers seem like winners. Getting Montrezl Harrell, who I didn't think would be on their radar, but getting him at the contract they did with the team option was a very good job by Ron Pelinka. Bringing back Caldwell Pope, who played pretty well for y'all, especially in the playoffs. The money, it seems kind of right for him. But, he kind of really stepped up his play, especially during those finals. Barrett and Danny Green. And now you're looking at them adding Marcus Saul after trading away JaVale McGee to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I missed somebody else they added. You're still waiting for anything.
They got Wes Matthews as well.
Yes. Added Wes Matthews this for 1 year. Hopefully, he can shoot better, be more consistent than what Danny Green was this year. Because Danny Green is getting paid $15 million. And there are days he would shoot well, and then other days, he couldn't hit the bronze out of a barn.
Yeah.
So
he's a defensive player too.
Yeah, very underrated defensively. Losing Rondo and Bradley hurt for the Lakers. So hopefully they add like a defensive piece in there. Now, granted, yes, they add Dennis Schroeder, but you need like another perimeter guy out there to D guys up. So hopefully you get find that young piece that could be a defensive guy for the Lakers. So I really like what they did. Houston, I like the signing of Christian Wood.
Yeah, I did see that too. I did. I ain't gonna lie. That was one that I really liked as well.
I would like it more, D-Lock, if Westbrook and Harden if they want to stay in the fold. But that's the issue. It seems like they don't want to stay there. And you got a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", can run the floor, can space out his game, can rebound. It's just he'd be like a perfect fit with them. This is like, damn, these other two guys are leaving or trying to leave. And my other winner, I probably lumped these two together. Miami getting Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
That was a very good move. Losing Jay Crowder kind of hurt. But I think what we've seen from Miami the past couple years, okay, these veterans can go, but we get the young bloods in here and they can do it, the right type of job.
Right.
I just hate, them we signed Myles Leonard to another contract, and you draft this other big man, and Myles Leonard didn't do dilly squat for you in the playoffs. They didn't really contribute much. Why bring him back in the fold? But and also bringing back Dragic, had a very excellent season. It sucked that he got injured before the finals, which kind of hurt them. But you bring him back, it's not too expensive, and you still got your point guard depth there with him and Kendrick Nunn. They just got to figure out who's going to be the starter, either Nunn or Dragic.
Yeah, I mean they have the depth, and you can see where they were going with that. So that was a pretty good pickup. Also, Jay Crowder going to the Suns wasn't a bad pickup as well.
And then the Nets. Here's my thinking. Here's my logic, and why the Nets are maybe winners for me. If let's just go along with this logic, this scenario. If James Harden doesn't get traded there, you took care of everything in house.
Mm-hmm.
You brought back Joe Harris. You traded for Landry Shamet. You didn't rock the boat into every other places. And we discussed this before. They got a nice, pretty decent roster for what they have. And ownership and the front office people probably had to sit there and think, in a perfect world, yes, we would love to have James Harden along with our other two superstars. But if one superstar ain't really feeling it compared to the other one, then what's the point of doing that move?
Right.
If Kyrie ain't feeling it and whatnot, why rock the boat on that situation? You know how he is, mood swings, all that stuff, and bring another guy in who needs the ball in his hand and whatnot. If you trade for James Harden, you trade away all that depth you built up there to be a contending team. I just kind of see Brooklyn like saying they probably came to their senses, like maybe not, but they came to the senses saying, okay, we like what we got here. If we add him to the fold, will that work with these other two superstars?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Harden can fit with Durant, but can he fit with Kyrie though?
That's the question. That's the question that goes to this. Like, who can fit with Kyrie? Like, that's the thing. Who's gonna fit with what Kyrie is gonna do, and can he still have that same energy throughout the whole season? I was just talking about. I think we were just talking about it a couple of days ago. Like, are we literally gonna be? Is Kyrie gonna be okay with having some games where he just have like 10 points? Because there's going to be stretches if you do have James Harden and Kevin Durant where he's not going to just be, going insane crazy. But he's going to be more so of a system man than anything. So can he uphold that? I'm not sure. My eyes, I'm not sure.
Well, and not only that, I think I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Steve Nash, and as a player, sometimes, or as a coach, you try to draw experiences as a player. And when Steve Nash was in Dallas, and Dallas was coming up as the new team in the West, along with Michael Finley, along with Dirk, Steve Nash was that third wheel. And what made that unit work until, Cuban, fumbled the ball on that. He was that third wheel, but he made it work. Okay. Michael Finley, Dirk gonna get the bulk of the scoring.
Right.
If I chip in between like 15 and 19, or maybe 15 to 18, average at least about 9 assists or so, I think we'd be gravy. But with Kyrie, I don't know he can see in his mind that to do that. I don't think he can humble himself for the betterment of the team to be that third wheel. He should be in that role. He'd be perfect for that role. I mean, if you hot one game, yeah, they're gonna feed it to you. But other than that, these other guys won't get their shots in. Facilitate the offense. Got Joel Harris in the fold.
Yeah.
If he's open, kick it out to him. It seemed like, ever since Kyrie has come to the fold, even in college, it seemed like every time, he think he's gonna be the man, somebody else just comes in, kind of overtakes that. Like we've seen in Cleveland, we've seen in Boston, Brooklyn. KD's gonna be the man, and we'll see how he looks. But in the perfect world, Kyrie should be there, that third man, but he's not. But since, James Harden has not been traded to there, I think Brooklyn did a good job adding the pieces that they did the past couple of days.
They've got a couple pieces, but it's just like I think they were trying to get Serge Ibaka. They were trying to work towards him. But it's clear that they're trying to get, like you were saying, it seemed like something was cooking up, something was brewing with the fact that they were kind of trying to clear up space and all these other teams were making these moves. But again, I don't think it's over with yet. I think we're going to see a lot of more different moves coming up. But they need to get on the ball because it seems like I said, I think Milwaukee just got a hell of a lot better. They got a lot of depth. They went and got DJ Augustine as well. DJ Augustine, I believe they got Bobby Portis as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, did they get Bobby Portis? Let me check on that.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. But I think Bobby Portis, yeah. Yeah, so they got Bobby Portis as well. So Milwaukee is like they're trying to have so much depth around Giannis that it's incredibly hard for them to not make it to the NBA Finals. So we didn't really hear too much from the Pacers, that much. So, but to your point, the Nets, they, it's like they're all in on getting James Harden, but these teams are loading up for having second units. That's what I liked about what the Lakers did is what the Lakers did. Now LeBron can somewhat have a lot more rest time than he did last year, and he's going to need it with him and other players are going to need it with a shorter season or coming back to a season so quick. So, but yeah, Brooklyn needs to, getting James Harden would be, a move that would change a lot, but it's just, until it actually happens, we're just kind of like waiting.
I agree with you there. And, another sign I low-key liked was Tristan Thompson going to the Celtics. They need that person down low to just, be a garbage player. And it seems like they're kind of missing that here the past couple of seasons. you would think Enes Kanter would be that dude, but he never really materialized in that role like some people envisioned. Tristan Thompson going to a contending team and whatnot. We'll see how motivated he can be. Playing for Boston.
Yeah. But didn't they Ennis Cannon just got sent back to the Trailblazers, didn't he?
Yeah, he got sent back to the Trailblazers. Hassan Whiteside, he's a free agent, so you fill that void with him gone. And Portland did great this offseason so far.
They re-signed Melo as well.
Yep, re-signed Melo. Added Derrick Jones from the Miami Heat. Added Robert Covington in the fold. Brought back Kanter as well.
Yeah.
And I think they brought back Rodney Hood also.
Oh, yeah. So they... Oof.
So if you look at them and the depth they have, especially on the wings and stuff, if they had to go small and stuff like that, if you look at situation lineups like, Melo at the 5 or Covington at the 5 and Melo at the 4, Derrick Jones at the 3 maybe, or if not, if you want more shooting, put Gary Trent out there. Then you got McCollum and Dame out there. That's a pretty scary lineup.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely gathering, a lot of pieces around. So to me, I'm thinking that it's like I said, it goes back to the whole depth thing to where, you know what your first unit is going to do, but now when you grab a couple other players, you kind of can mix up different lineups that you can put together. So that's what it seems like. These players can understand that. I think this is going to be the year where they really need that, because fact is, you're going to have a shorter season, and the season starts December 22nd. Dude, that's a month from right now. So you're going to need all that stuff right at this moment.
I definitely agree with you there.
And yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And, I think, like you mentioned, the depth and stuff like that. And, unfortunately, we saw what happened with Klay Thompson,
yeah.
trying to get back healthy and stuff for the start of the season. And, Brian Windhorst of ESPN made a good point after the draft, talking to Scott Van Pelt. I think, with the season coming back so early, Windhorst made a good point. It kind of accelerated, trying to get back in time for the season and training and stuff like that. And, if the season started in January or something like that, I think that probably maybe been more beneficial for him. But, them starting in December and training camp started, early next month, he felt rushed. And now, he got a torn Achilles happening to him.
Yeah.
And now Golden State was kind of forced to use that trade exception, that $17 million trade exception, to go after Kelly Oubre, I think who they had in their sights anyways, but that what happened to Klay kind of amplified it. And God knows if Klay was back, if he's back and full healthy, who knows what they would have done that exception. Would they took that exception plus Andrew Wiggins and got somebody else in the second overall pick and do something else with it? That's a lot of questions right there.
Yeah. I mean, that injury, I ain't gonna lie, like that injury probably would have, we talked about it during the draft, but I probably would have considered drafting LaMelo or another guard And the reason why is because, you Wiseman is going to be a hell of a player. But I forgot the fact that you do have Pascal there. You know, you got a Draymond, you got a couple pieces. But it's just, the thing about, your draft picks is like we just found out like a couple days later, it's a free agency. So there's all different kinds of free agents that you could have approached or trades that they could have made, which is what they did getting Kelly Oubre. But I don't see Kelly Oubre as a shooter like Klay Thompson. He's not a, off the ball, like just pass the rock and all I need is like 2 or 3 dribbles and I can just drain a 3-pointer back to back. I don't see him as being that player. So for me, I think it was, like I said, it was moved to where they felt like, well, hell, we need, a vet to come in here to help us now that, Klay Thompson is hurt again. And they had to make a move at some point. Like I said, like we said, the season is going to start soon. So the West has just got a hell of a lot tougher. I really like also what Phoenix is doing. The fact they they added some vets there too, and some defense in grabbing Jay Crowder. So, they're going to be a team to reckon with as well. It's just that the West is so deep, not many people are thinking about them. But yeah, I mean, some pieces were made, or transactions was for the Warriors. It's kind of to move forward. I wonder how this is going to affect them, a year or two from now.
And that's a great question. I mean, that's a great question. 2 years down the road, in 2-3 years down the road, you hope Wiseman will eventually grow to be that next face of your franchise with the right development. Draymond, we talked about before, Draymond 30. Steph 32. Klay 31. 31. They ain't getting younger. Now, granted, for Klay and Steph, for their games, they can stretch that out for years. Draymond, how long he'll be built for this? And he ain't the world's best shooter. Wiggins, people still waiting on that Andrew Wiggins to come out. That Air Jordan, the Canadian version of Michael Jordan, they still waiting for that to come out, which we won't never see. But
yeah.
But, for Golden State, if Wiseman becomes that dude, I think a lot of things be cured. And some of the other role players develop nicely. I think they should be fine for the future going forward. But we talk about some of the winners, stuff like that. Also, shout out to Fred VanVleet getting a big deal too. Guy that was undrafted, really upped his play. Past couple years, he deserved it. He deserved it. And all that. So shout out to him.
Yeah, he had a really good season to me. I think after Kawhi was leaving, I thought a lot of people. Well, I know I damn sure thought more so about the fact that can't think of his name. Kyle Lowry was going to be like the guy. Thought he was just going to take over. But VanVleet, he showed up big time. He did a lot. He played very well. I definitely had him on my fantasy team. So I'm very happy for him for that aspect.
So shout out to him for him scoring that big deal and staying in Toronto. Who, by the way, if y'all not known, ladies and gentlemen, we're playing to start their season in Tampa.
In Tampa, best city in the country.
So you around Tampa and whatnot, check them out. when you get the chance. I know Florida's wide open, so just wear your mask.
Yeah.
But D-Lock, we talk about some of the winners and whatnot, and players who got nice big contracts. Who are some of your losers?
Well, I would say it's hard to say an actual loser, but yeah, I would hard to say it's an actual loser. Losers, I would say teams that are considered losers, they haven't like really made no big moves. My Magic haven't really done anything too impressive to me. Signing Dwayne Bacon was, I guess, adding on another Terrence Ross type player. Re-signing Gary Clark. OKC didn't do anything. The moves that they made, I just wasn't too impressed with. And I told you this even on the show during the draft. I just felt like it's like they're waiting for that next great player, that next generational player with all these picks. If you tell me that a football team has, all these picks, like 17 first-round picks in the next 6 years, I'd be like, oh, well, hell, they're about to have like a all-Madden team in the next, 10 years. But, this is a different draft. NBA is different. It's only two rounds, so it's different. So it just seems like they're waiting and waiting for that big name player. So I just kind of see what they're doing, but then again, I'm kind of confused. So Thunder, I really don't consider them as a winner right now. I kind of see them on the losing side. The Magic, I mean, I guess we're trying to keep the group together like they won a championship last year. Those are my main teams, really. Also, the Clippers. Now, they did get Serge Ibaka, but I think losing Trez hurt more than we know right now. And also, not getting Rondo. I mean, I thought they probably felt as if Rondo was just, guaranteed to be in the Clippers uniform, but he wasn't. So for me, I don't see the Clippers as winning right now. They've lost, more than they can gain at this moment. They did trade the point guard away too, Landry Shamet. So now, like I said, Serge Ibaka, I guess you did, get him to go away from the Lakers. But being the fact that he did win the championship with Kawhi, it's not a surprise. But besides that, they haven't done anything impressive.
I want to stay on the Clippers for a second. Losing Trez to your, across the locker room rivals hurts. I didn't like I said before. Well, like I said earlier, I didn't see that coming. Getting Ibaka helps that, but that's like for the short term. You trade away Shamet. Yes, you added Luke Kennard, but you really haven't shored that point guard depth to a degree. And then, this is just my feelings on this. You give the Morris twin $64 million.
Yes. Man. My gosh, what were they thinking?
You gave Marcus Morris 4 years, $64 million. Who are y'all bidding against?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, damn, that could be a typo.
Yeah. Yeah. When I seen it, I ain't gonna lie, I scrolled down. I was like, maybe this is not a verified page that got this, but accurate.
Because I'm into thinking this, and let me on the sidebar. All these guys that get money and stuff like that, getting paid, whatever. Congrats to them. Kudos to them. Your agents have done great jobs. I think you probably in the same agreement with me. We don't fault these players taking the money that's given to them.
Nope.
However, some of these teams cannot help themselves. And then we hear them with the same old tired song. Whoa, I paid this much for this player a couple years ago. Now I can't get rid of him. And they come to these CBA negotiations trying to get like a mulligan. Y'all give us a mulligan, we can get rid of some of these contracts. No. If you offer this player this amount of money, I'll get to Detroit here in a second, Charlotte. You gotta be stuck with it. Or at least you can find a trade partner. My thinking with the Clippers, you got potentially Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on one more, at least 1 year deals apiece on them.
Mm-hmm.
They can opt out. If things don't go right this upcoming season, they could bounce. And do you want to be on the hook with 2 more years of Marcus Morris in his contract? If those two guys bounce and you want to shut down and do a full rebuild? Like who you been against? All honesty.
To me, for one, so some things you have to actually look at and say, okay, well, what the hell is going on? Well, for one, if we know that the Lakers, the Clippers have this chance of going against the Lakers, go play against the Lakers, all these other teams in the West, go to the NBA Finals. They have the pieces there. Why would Trez leave? That's the first thing. Because if he leaves and they let him walk or whatever the case may be, it's something brewing there that we don't know that is kind of fishy. You got your best players on what they got opt out next year, correct? Like you said. So when you see Trez leave, it kind of feels as if they were all in 1 year. And if it doesn't work next year, we might be seeing Kawhi leave or Paul George. So, to come back and see them, say, hey, you know what, we're going to pay Morris X amount of money. Like, are you locking him up because this is a person that you're going to rebuild with or try to rebuild with because a lot of your pieces may leave? Like, what really happens if the Clippers don't make it to the NBA Finals next year? Like, does Kawhi really consider, leaving? Does Paul George get traded or, opts out? Like, there's more pressure on the Clippers this year. And for them to, like I said, they didn't do anything too impressive to me this offseason so far. Like, it's not something that is like, oh, well, okay, you know what? That was like a brilliant move. Like, this just made them a hell of a lot better. It's not even a counter to what the Lakers have done. Like, the Lakers just got very big inside right now, if we think about it. Going to get Marc Gasol, going to get Trez. You already got 80 in the fold. I mean, you lost Dwight Howard, but who would you rather, Trez or Dwight Howard? You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I don't know. They did all those trades, and then they don't have any draft capital.
Yep.
So now it's like you're betting on all in 1 year, a couple years, which is understandable. But hell, if Kawhi say he out, then that project that you just built just came crashing down in 2 years or 3 years. So this is not like a scenario where he signed a long-term deal and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm here to stay and we're gonna be competitive year in, year out. Hell, he's looking at, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna see if it works, and then if it don't, I'm gonna go somewhere else. possibly join the Lakers, which sounds surprising right now, but hell, Trez joining was surprising alone. So that's why I consider them as being losers, because to me, it had me kind of to the point to where, okay, what, you probably tried to get Rondo, but be honest, after seeing the whole, letter that Rondo put on his page, I definitely damn sure didn't think he was about to go play for the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just talk about Laker Nation and all that stuff. That'd be the most disrespectful thing for you to go play for the Clippers. So, yeah, maybe they're gonna make some trades, maybe during the season or whatever the case may be. But to me, it just was a terrible all season for them. Like, it just seemed like, and it started with firing Doc Rivers.
And there's kind of one more thing on the Clippers. You lose your Michael Green. He signs with Denver. So you lose that depth up front. You re-sign Patrick Patterson, but I mean, maybe he can fill that void. But I mean, he's been running the bench in the NBA for the past couple years.
Yeah.
And then I think I mentioned this in the draft or whatnot, or maybe the last episode. Lou Williams, had the mishap in Atlanta, got back in the bubble, and then really kind of wasn't himself. And yeah, you got Luke Kennard in the fold, but I think you need another guard in that backcourt to help things out. Because Pat Bev, let's be real, D-Log, he's just a defensive guard.
Yeah. I love the way he plays, mentality-wise, but his consistency is what bothers me. I don't see the consistency from Beverly. And I know he's going to be really hurt. And I'm pretty sure you've seen that tweet he put out about Trez going to the Lakers.
Well, yeah, you listen here. You can't be mad if Trez goes to the Lakers. You got to look at Jerry West, Steve Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, and talk to them and say, hey, I'm fucking keeping Trez. And then next you know, you look up Marcus Smart's getting all this money. Something ain't adding up there.
I'm telling you.
If they really want to keep Trez, why not offer him that 4-year, $64 million deal or $60 million?
Dude, they could have found a way. It's just, like I said, it's something that we just don't know. But again, maybe the fact that Trez did leave also, and like I said, I know he's with Clutch Sports as well. But it's just something that is something they know that we don't know. Because honestly, with the rivalry being so deep as it was this past year, why in the hell would Trez even leave and then go to the rival team as well? Like, something, it's something that he knows, or maybe that they talked about that we have not heard. But for him to make that move lets you know that, okay, this whole Clippers are going to be, battling with the Lakers for years to come, and they got this team, and, the big hype was expected for them to go to the NBA Finals. Maybe there's more than just a coaching issue there.
Well, we'll see how Ty Lue get things situated there and whatnot. Another loser for me, D-Log, was the Detroit Pistons. I don't know which direction they want to go in. Clearly, they should be in rebuild mode. But then in the beginning of free agency, Mason Plumlee gets a decent payday for 3 years, $25 million, in which that was probably one of the worst contracts that was signed.
Yeah.
And for me, like with signing Plumlee, here's my issue. Yeah, he rebounds and he's pretty athletic down low, but he don't move the needle that way for the money he gets. He's not a game changer. He don't affect nothing. You know?
Yeah.
And, to see him get that deal, it's astounding. Nerlens Noel signed for like 1 year, $6 million with the Knicks. You couldn't tell me that he's seeing that. It's like, damn, I can do what he does, maybe a little bit better. And I'll just get $6 million from the Knicks. I thought that was a bad contract. I was like, you paying for that dude just to run it down the court and get a couple rebounds. Then, you signed Jahlil Okafor. I'll say, okay, you signed another big man. Where are we going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Then you signed Jeremiah Grant for a 3-year deal, which, good for him, but it's like...
it ain't like, he's not a game changer.
I mean, he can contribute on a contending team, but Detroit ain't no contending team.
Yeah.
If he had signed that deal with the Cleveland, to be that 3-man with them, cool. If he had signed that deal with, Charlotte, we'll talk about them in a second, cool. If he maybe signed that deal with Atlanta potentially, cool. But to go to Detroit and then they'll give him all that money, and then like some of the young prospects they got on the wing and stuff they trying to develop. I mean, I know you need to add veteran depth and mix it in, but if you ain't going to the playoffs, in my humble opinion, you should be like throwing out money just to throw out money.
Well, that's what it seems like. They got Josh Jackson too, right?
Yeah, they signed Josh Jackson too.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I feel like Detroit is one of them teams that's just kind of in a rebuild mode, but they're just like trying to grab what they can grab. They're not an attractive team. But I put them in the same, category as the Magic. Like you tagged me. Well, we put it up on the page. Y'all definitely follow our page, NBA Fast Break. That the Magic were trying to go after Russ and then just decided to stop, or like just stop the trade, like not talk about it. Like for what? Like it's clear he can make a difference on your team. And, the Pistons, it's a couple people that they could at least try to go after. Now, granted, I think what is making it hard for them to do that is, let's be real, they made a move for Blake Griffin. And I don't know if they're too happy about that because what he's done and, being injured. So maybe they are second guessing, that move, and it's kind of keeping them on the edge of making, other moves. But yeah, I mean, again, only reason why they can get away with this right now is because they're in the East.
So I see those moves like, damn, y'all just could have kept Christian Wood for the money he got.
Mm-hmm.
He can give y'all rebounding. He can shoot better than Okafor and Plumlee combined.
Better player too, overall.
And better play overall. And well, if Okafor came around a different time, then we'll be singing a different tune. But I was like, damn, Mason Plumlee getting $25 million. God, if he can get 25 mil, damn, me, you can go fetch 5 million from somebody.
I know, right? If you're giving the man that much, he got to be the starter.
Like,
just giving out money. See, I say some of these teams, like, they do things like just to be irrelevant during the free agency. So even though they don't really want to make that move or they think the move is okay, some moves they're just getting just to say, hey, we were part of the process of the free agency. Hey, we got Mason, we signed somebody. Yeah, we got Mason Plumlee. We gave him a nice little deal just to say something. I looked at my phone, was it yesterday or the day before? And I see an ESPN notification about Wode. And don't you know it says the Magic re-signs Gary Clark? I'm like, why in the hell are y'all even blowing my phone up about that notification? Like this dude is like a superstar. So it's like, what? Like, okay, but that's not a move that is that big of a deal to where you're saying, okay, well, yeah, this is this person, and that's how I feel about some of these teams. They're making these kind of moves, and the Pistons, they're in that category. I mean, you got you a couple guys, but like, what are you building towards? Are you just, hey, we got this kind of money, we want to afford this? Are you going to build around Blake Griffin? You got Derrick Rose. Like, what is the, and then you're shipping out a lot of money for these players. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Jerami played pretty solid with the Nuggets, but 3 years, $60 million, that's a bit of money for him. Get that man $20 million a year.
I mean, I know. And then another thing in Detroit, we're gonna do with Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin, like you mentioned. You can fill some offers for Derrick Rose. Blake Griffin, maybe he sit out the year, and I know he got the expiring next year. Maybe you can get some money for that. I mean, get some, so if some team wants to cap some relief for that, then cool. But I mean, if you're gonna rebuild, rebuild. Take some gamble on some young guys through your development system and whatnot, or some undrafted free agents, and see you find some gems there, and then kind of rebuild your roster that way. Which I don't understand why some NBA teams don't do that better. I don't get that. But another loser for me, D-Lock, maybe you might disagree with this. I didn't like what Charlotte did with Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I remember you told me the game like that, yeah.
Here's my only thought process. We talk about Batum opting in with this deal for the $27 million. That makes me sick saying that. He opts in. All right. Gordon Hayward, they might maybe sign with the Knicks. New York ain't his type of speed. He really want to go to Indiana, but Danny Ainge wanted TJ Warren or Victor Oladipo, along with Miles Turner. Then, there's that flirtation with the Hawks. Now the Hawks, they signed Denar Gallinari, and they're going after Bomyan Bogdanovic. Then he ends up in Charlotte. They waive Batum. But then you turn around and you know who's there. Besides Michael Jordan, Mitch Kupchak.
Yep.
They get that man a 4-year deal. A 4-year deal. Let me pull out the numbers because the numbers, I just a 4-year, $120 million deal. After you see the light of getting rid of Nicholas Batum, you turn around and give Gordon Hayward 4 years, $120 million. For what? And we talked about this in the past. The guy hasn't been right since he hurt his ankle 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Something's been wrong the whole time. I mean, I you know that quote one. I think it's "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." It's kind of where you are with that. It could be, that scenario. I didn't like the contract. I just like the fact that they're trying to get better. Is what I liked out of that. That was my biggest deal behind it. I kind of see where he's trying to turn, but Batum, having Batum is just, I don't know what the hell they was thinking about giving him that kind of money. Because even when you paid him, he wasn't even the player that Gordon Hayward was in Utah. So for me, again, like I said, I agree with you on the contract part, but I do see where they're trying to improve this roster.
It's like, yeah, you got rid of Batum. You waived him, but you got to pay him that money though.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just ride out the season and let the contract expire, and then come out next offseason and regroup that way with a better free agency class. I just didn't understand what the process thing is that. But remember, you got Michael Jordan in the fold and Mitch Kupchak. And like I told you before, I'll never forgive Mitch Kupchak giving that big ass contract to Timothy Mozgov years ago.
Don't even bring his name up.
Like a minute after free agency started, they gave that man $64 million. Him and Hooters Jim Buzz. Probably sitting eating Hooters wings, discussing that deal. Man, it's pretty good. Yeah, Mozgov, yeah, from Cleveland, yeah. Yeah, give him that money. I just thought that was a bad contract, my opinion. I didn't know where they're going with that. And then another bad contract. Millsap re-signed for the Nuggets for $10 million. And then you bring in JaMychal Green. So I was like, we talked about this during the summer. I think he's cooked. He looked cooked. So I was like, y'all giving him $10 million?
Mm-hmm. Giving that man that paper like that, he wouldn't. I don't know. Are they paying him to be the leader on the team? Is that what they're doing?
That's what I'm guessing. Like, we need your veteran presence here. But I was like, okay. You don't have to give him $10 million though.
That's what I'm saying. You giving that man $10 million. He's getting that scenario with what's your boy name for the Heat? I can't think of his name right now.
Iguodala?
Power forward. Not Iguodala, power forward. I can't think of his name.
Well, hell, at least.
Udonis.
Yeah. Well, hell, at least with Millsap, he still plays.
Yeah.
When last time you seen UD run down the court?
NBA Finals.
When
Not this
LeBron,
year.
LeBron and them still there. That was the last time I seen that man on the court.
Yep. Haven't seen him since. But I guess, hey, when you got them kind of connections, they keep finding a way to bring it back and give you money. Had a friend of mine who, tried out for a football team. Was like, man, it's hard to get in, but once you win on the professional side, they will always, always keep just letting you in.
Mm-hmm. So, Millsap getting now, like, okay, that's cool. So that's my main ones there. Just looking around the league.
The Magic could have been more effective, though. I just felt like that whole push for Russ. I mean, I know you committed to your players, but hell, I mean, you already know what you're getting out of Aaron Gordon. You paid him all that money, and now you're considering, trading him or release it, or trade him. Like, you about to get you a pretty solid player that you can build around. But at least build a franchise around a little bit. Because what you have right now, you're going to be battling for the 8th seed every year on the East. So, to me, like I said, even when I seen it, like I said, getting Michael Carter back, I believe, Garrett Clark, okay, like they doing all this stuff like we just was like a game away from the NBA Finals or something. But, the fact that you're in talks with Houston for Russ, like, you don't pull the trigger because you're going to possibly trade one of your, one of the players in your team. That's part of how the business works. Seems like they don't want to do that. I don't even know if Russ even goes anywhere now, to be honest.
And then, to bring up your Magic, like you mentioned, if you're going to keep that roster, you want to keep those guys intact, you got to make some upgrades.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Augustine, he's gone to Milwaukee.
Yep.
They brought in guys like Dwayne Bacon, and they re-signed your boy Gary Clark. Where's the upgrade in that? I'd rather them go after Rondo or somebody like that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got Cole Anthony, which is a good piece, but it's just, you had an opportunity to, so many big names out there. You could have grabbed somebody that would have made it somewhat a little bit more interesting for you, for you to, hey, all right, we're trying to make some of these bigger moves and try to push forward. Because clearly, if you look at what Atlanta's doing, hell, Atlanta ain't trying to be just battling for the AC.
Mm-hmm.
They're grabbing pieces to at least be like, up there to be contending for a nice little spot in the playoffs. You see what Brooklyn's going to do. But it just seems like if you, we're just going to keep the same roster we have, basically. Like we were the second seed in the East.
And like you mentioned about Atlanta, Clint Capella should be healthy and ready to go for the season start.
Yep.
You got John Collins, too.
I forgot about him.
Throwing Gallinari. If Sacramento don't match Bogdanovich, got him at the 2. And then, Trae Young at the 3. And those 3, their 3-point shooting, you can't double team one guy because you leave another guy open and he could just shoot your eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
then you go to the bench like with the young bloods like DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Kevin Herter, and then and then you brought Rondo into the fold. Atlanta ain't playing no games.
They're really not, and you can see what they're trying to build. It's like when it's time to re-sign Trae Young, they're already gonna have some pieces, have a little bit of success is what they're trying to show, and they got a nice little young roster around him. So Clint Capella's what? He's not that old, is he?
I say mid-20s.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably 26, 27. So you got you a nice big man there already. You already got you some shooters that's going to be there. Then you got a veteran point guard there in Rondo. So, this is a team that's trying to move. They're trying to trend forward, and it'll work. It'll work on the East. So it's kind of like, we're trying to be contending. The Wizards are going to be the Wizards. We just talked about the Pistons. Hell, what the hell are the Cavs doing? So, I would hope the Magic would try to. Don't know what the hell the Knicks doing.
For the Cavs and Bulls, I'll speak on the Cavs first. Okay, you got Drummond in the fold. He re-opt. A guy gives you at least 15 rebounds a game. You still got Kevin Love in the fold. The 3 position, you drafted very well in the draft. You got Kevin Porter on the wing. Also with Sadie Austin. You got your backcourt and Garland and Sexton. So I think Cleveland will be a solid team this upcoming year. I think for them that they can't stumble out the gates. Chicago didn't really do too much. I mean, free agency, but they really want to spend a lot of money. And I think that's what Detroit should have did. Yeah, you add like a veteran here and there, but don't drop no big money on them. If you're gonna be in the bottom and rebuild, be on the bottom and rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah, hell, Chicago definitely got a pretty decent roster too, to me. I think their roster is pretty solid. So they didn't really need to make, I guess, a drastic move. And obviously, that's a good thing I think I like about Billy Donovan too. Billy Donovan is probably going to see what he could do with that roster and see how far they go and then make his adjustments, maybe as a season goal or maybe the following year. But you have a couple teams that are trying to be, they're not just giving up and saying, well, hell, Boston is going to be solid, Milwaukee is going to be solid, Miami, so let's just, sit and let them, like run the league or run the East. They're not, some of these teams, the Hawks are not trying to do that. They're trying to move forward. So, but then again, like I said, you do have those teams that just, hey, well, we're just in the NBA and we're just a team. So, hey, let's just make a couple moves and say that we're here. Pistons and the Magic, And then what you hear in a couple of years is, oh, this coach has been fired. This GM has been, this GM has been replaced and all this stuff. Like, it's like an ongoing thing.
Yep, it's an ongoing thing, and some of these owners were trying to ask for a mulligan and stuff like that. Again, down the line here. You mentioned the Knicks, and we'll talk about them for a sec. They didn't go crazy this year. Of course, you got Leon Rose in the helm in the front office, so you didn't you're not handing out these big old contracts like they did with Todd Gibson, Bobby Portis, and Wayne Ellington and crew. So you're not doing that, this year around. You waive Todd Gibson, who I thought would be in the fold since he's the Tom Thibodeau guy. Bobby Portis, he's gone to Milwaukee, but you decline his contract. But you didn't go too crazy in free agency, with the Knicks. So, I guess they try to look ahead to next off season and go from there. They know they're rebuilding, so really no rush there.
Yeah, I mean, I was still hoping they would, make some kind of drastic move, but I guess they're just dumping a lot of those contracts, to be honest. So, which is understandable. They damn sure was about to take JaVale McGee for a minute. I don't know if you were seeing it earlier. The Lakers were trying to, send him over there. But picking up Austin Rivers, did they try to get Spellman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a bad little, solid piece. He's pretty young. I think he'd be pretty good. We're still trying to see if they're going to go after Russ. I know Rivers been like, damn, well, everywhere I go, Russ is there. Sound Nerlens Noel, pretty solid. So they haven't did anything drastic, but also what does hurt is the fact that that front office is just nobody wants to play for the Knicks when they act the way they do.
And then some other news that's going on. Of course, JaVale McGee got traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Lakers, in return, get Alfonso McKinney and Jordan Bell in return. So not bad pickups for the Lakers.
You think they keep both of them, or you think they waive? I don't think no contracts are guaranteed.
No, well, the Lakers, according to Bobby Marks, the Lakers, to make the trade work, the money work, they're going to guarantee part of their salary for both players. But I can see them sticking. If they don't bring out the Morris twin, I mean, Jordan Bell, I mean, be a solid guy right behind, Montrezl Harrell, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. And you can throw him in that center position and whatnot. And he can play small ball. So I like that deal for the Lakers. In all honesty, pretty good pickup for them. And then also Chris Boucher for the Raptors. He resigned with them for 2 years, $13.5 million. So expect him to see more playing time with him in the fold since Ibaka is gone. And then, Gasol, he's going to sign a 2-year deal with the Lakers. So,
What do you think about the 76ers?
Getting Dwight, or just everything in general?
Just everything in general, like how their offseason is going. I think, and getting rid of Al Horford. Hell.
Getting rid of Al Horford was key. We talked about it in the past. Like, Al Horford won't play power forward and stuff like that. Hate playing center in the league, even though that's his best fit. Gets to a place where he can play power forward, and it really didn't really stick. And now he's in OKC, possibly playing center again, since Steven Adams is traded to New Orleans, which that's a great pickup for them. But for Philly, getting Dwight Howard, it can be a solid backup for them. I just got to see how everything looks with Doc Rivers in the fold. I know they added Danny Green. They added a couple other guys. But I got to see what happens coaching wise with them. You know, does Tobias Harris, shoots better from the field? Because he can be a volume shooter, but not in a good way at times. Can it be take that next step? Can Simmons at least have a half-ass jump shot to contribute with this team?
Yeah, Seth Curry too, right?
And Seth Curry in the fold as well. So we'll see how Philly, shakes out. But before we get out of here, I want to ask you this. Between time here and by the time of training camp, do Russ or James Harden get traded, or both get traded beforehand?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think if either gets traded, I think Houston is gonna be taking a contract, or they're gonna be taking a deal that they don't want. I think it's gonna be like a force. Man, James Harden, that old stuff with James Harden, man. Like, it really makes me believe that like they gotta. It's like you gotta send him. Dude, I was just looking at the contracts, just a couple days ago, and LeBron's making like 37 a year, 38 or something like that.
Yep.
Like, they offered James Harden 50. Allegedly, they offered him 50, and he turned it down. That means that he does not want to be there. Like, period. So, to me, I think if it do happen, it's going to be a deal that Houston may not want. And it's clear for every team that James Harden wants to go. So you're not going to just give him anything they want, for him. But, like I said, it could happen, but if it does, it'd be forced. Again, the season's starting in a month. So these things got to happen fast. If so, and when things are rushed, there's somebody's going to get screwed on either end.
When the report came out, said they're not in a rush to trade those two guys, I took that as like, they really don't have a market for them yet. And I think they'll start the season in Houston. But I can see Russ being traded by the trade deadline. For who? I don't know. When these deals get signed and stuff like that, they can't be tradable till like late January or so. So we'll see how the season plays out. Yeah, I think Houston will find a deal and get and trade Russ out of there. To who? I really don't know.
If you're Charlotte, if you're Charlotte, are you approaching?
If you're Charlotte, I mean, you come off LaMelo Ball, and then you probably throw in Terry Rozier for money reasons, and maybe and this is why trading waiving Batum was stupid. If you're going to trade for Russ, why not have Batum in the books and trade his money for cap reasons?
Yeah.
Wrong with Rozier. Wrong with Batum's contract. And then, like I said, you got to come off, LaMelo Ball. And there you go. But they didn't do that. Your Magic, another possible team that needs another guard. Them, the Knicks, they seem like they want to make a splash, or if Leon Rose and company don't want to do that and kind of conserve that cap for the future, then they don't make that move.
Right. But it's interesting. It's going to be, like I said, we're talking about something that, because of how the season is expected to go, these moves are going to happen fast. I mean, but because of that, like I said, usually when it happens, you hear, oh, somebody got screwed. So, to me, we're going to have to see who it is. And it also depends. Like, people are saying that, a team that is in the running for a championship shouldn't try to trade for Russ. I disagree with that, but we'll see. Definitely will.
And this, before we wrap up, Superman's contracts were handed out to Jason Tatum, which he accepted. Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox. So those deals is for Mitchell and Tatum for 5 years, $195 million. They'll reach up to that max deal for $195 million if they reach their All-NBA incentives. So if they reach their All-NBA incentives, they'll get that extra money.
Yeah.
Kind of thing like, ladies and gentlemen, like Klay Thompson. When he didn't make All-NBA, was it a couple years ago, he lost a lot of money. And he is very, very salty about that. But, for guys like Tatum and Mitchell, I don't think that would be an issue for them making All-NBA teams. Especially Tatum being in the East. Donovan in the West, that may be a little bit uphill climb. We'll see.
Sure, if he played like he did last year, he wouldn't have a problem, I won't think.
That is true.
He played very good. He earned that money.
But this has been our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us. This week, with the draft on Wednesday, and then tuning in with us tonight. We will be back here live next Sunday, while we have some more news going on in the NBA, and also kind of start previewing, the divisions around the league. D-Lock, how can the people find you on social media?
Guys, definitely find me at Black-813. Black, the word dash, 813. Definitely be tweeting a lot of stuff, tweeting and on Instagram. So always on different sports, mainly basketball and football. And also have a couple things on YouTube. Check out the name Dentarius Lock, and you'll see a lot there. Let them know where they can find you at, man.
You can find me on Twitter at Spawn4288. That is Spawn4288. Also, you can follow me on the Crooks Process on Facebook and Instagram. That's my other podcast that I do. Don't know why I'm doing another episode, but if you follow me there, you'll get the update soon as the episode drop. But this has been our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. This has been Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for that is all sports. And also do follow us on Twitter at Fast Break IESR. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
Peace.